So did the guy who lost his binder on the highway today. I found it, and you owe me $1,400.
Oh, I'm getting pulled over. Yeah, I think I'm speeding. So, let me let you go.
So, I'm here to tell you, it's been a very rough, expensive month. I did get pulled over. Not for what I thought I should have gotten pulled over for. And I'm here to tell you guys in this video, I'm going to tell you what I got pulled over for and all the incidental stuff. It's like the hits just kept on coming. And that'll happen. But like this deal here in Tennessee, they're not playing anymore, and I'll explain that. And then the FMCSA at the scale, they're not playing anymore, and the repair bill, they're not paying anymore, and the other repair bill, yeah, like I said, the hits just keep on coming. So I'll tell you what's going on, and you're going to be shaking your head. So as you saw, I got pulled over. Now, I got pulled over for speeding, and the irony is I wasn't doing anything any different than anybody else was. Went to pass that prime truck, and that dillweed basically just put it in neutral, and we were going down the hills, and he literally was passing me. The cop was behind me, and I got it up to 75, and I just let him go. I was like, you know what, I'll catch him on the next hill, and I did. And I got up and I got over, slowed down to 70, and that's when he nailed me. So, what did he get me for? Well, he got me for following too closely, he said, less than 1 car length. Said, paced from the rear, speeding, 78 and a 70. And then they got me for driving beyond my 11-hour driving limit. Properly carrying vehicle, driving beyond 11 hours, limit in a 14-hour period. Let me tell you the irony of that. 1 minute and 24 seconds over my book. He could have let that go. I'll tell you why he didn't. And I'll tell you what happened here, and I'll make it real quick before we start moving on to fun times number 2. So he comes walking up to the truck and starts beating on my passenger door. Open the door, which I legally don't have to. I don't have to at all. But I also know that I might as well, because if I let Officer Farva mad over here, we couldn't figure out what to call him. I wasn't going to call him by his real name. We didn't know if we were going to call him Officer Farva, Paul Blart, or Officer Your Mom's a Hoe. That's German. And we just decided to stick with Officer Farva. So Officer Farva comes up to the door, starts beating on it. And I decided just to comply, because I don't need this kind of trouble right now. I've got bigger things happening. And he starts basically, you know, puffing up. And it was kind of funny, because these cameras out here, this camera and that camera, suddenly became the great equalizer, because he was puffing up. And he turns around and looks, and suddenly he's this far from that camera, and I saw his eyes go like that, and his whole demeanor, boom, changed, which was a good thing. The bad thing was I suddenly realized I probably wasn't going to get a break. So, Officer Your Mom, or well, let's not get demonetized. Well, I'm not monetized, but let's stay out of trouble. Officer Farva goes back and just starts writing tickets up. And so I knew I was going to get tickets. So let's go over what happened actually. Now, he just wrote me up these warnings here. These are all warnings. The problem is these all contain all the same CSA points as an actual ticket, which I don't understand why they call them warning. I'm still getting the penalty phase. They're just deferring the fine. So to call, that's not it. To call these a warning, that's a bunch of crap. And they need to stop doing that, because these aren't warnings. Just because I'm not paying a ticket doesn't mean I'm still not getting penalized. And so I'll tell you the points I got here towards the end and why this isn't a joke anymore. But the reason they give you warnings now is because you don't go to court. They figure it's just easier on everybody. You get the warnings and you go away. It's just easier on their paperwork and them. There's no court involved. Truthfully, I wish they would have given me the tickets, because I would have gone to court. Would have hired a local lawyer. Probably would have got at least one, maybe the two knocked out. And then shown him the dash cam footage, and we would have been good to go. But how do you fight a warning? I know there's a way for you to fight the points, and I'm looking into that because of one of these violations, and it was absolutely ridiculous. So I get done with that. I take off. Oh, by the way, he does a full inspection, and I pass. I call it in, and she's like, you know what? You're not getting your $75. I was like, you know what? I think we're cool. So, take off. Well, coming back up, and this happens. So, truthfully, getting pulled in here is never really that big of a deal. Usually I get the bypass, but this is new. And I made a new friend. So, yeah. Here we go. So we're off to experience number 2. And it was a good time. So I get there, and the officer, he's actually a really cool dude. Real laid back, does a level 1. It's, and we did find a problem. And one of the brake cans was leaking. I had no idea it was leaking. The only way we could hear it leaking was when I dynamited my brakes. So go through that, get a violation all over again. Luckily, it didn't put me out of service, which was good. Just wrote me up for a, bad brake can. And that carries some points with it too. So I get going there, and I take off, and I run up to Willow Springs, and there next to the Loves, there's that repair shop, and I just swung in there real quick and says, hey, you guys fix this? Yeah. 110.76 later, boom, in, out, 37 minutes. So I was real happy about that. So everything's good. I take off. I get up north of Kansas City to that exit 20. There's a truck stop there, TRUX. Never spent the night there before. There's some spots. I slide into one. Everything's groovy. So, oh, excuse me. It's getting late. So I do my break. Get up the next morning. It's raining, and it's dark. And so I fire up the truck. I pull into the fuel island where I can see. I do something real quick, roll around, hit the street. All of a sudden, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, oh no, what now? I ran over a binder, hook binder. Hook was stuck in the tire. Ratchet strap with the ratchet was still on there, banging the bottom, tore my mud flap, tore my my mud flap hanger, but more importantly, it flattened a tire. So I gotta ease back into the truck stop, pull a knife out, cut the strap off. I cannot get the hook out. Now this time the tire's flat. So I'm like, you know what? The Loves, It's 20 minutes up the road, but I have to cross the scale. It's 5:30 in the morning. It's raining. There's a really good chance, even if it's open, I'll slide right through. I'm really light. So it's on the inside too, so I go ahead and I just take off to the Loves. Well, I get to the Loves, guy get me right in. That's great. But once I get there, I learned something that I didn't want to know. What I find out in short order is that Loves doesn't sell used tires anymore. Nobody really does anymore. And I am forced to buy 2 brand new Bridgestones. Now, here's the part that made me mad. I had 2 that I was going to get replaced with a couple of used ones when we could find a pair at the company. But those weren't the ones I hit. I hit the best 2 on the truck. So now I'm replacing the Bridgestones at, oh, let's see. They were, it all come out to a little over $1,500 all in to replace those 2 tires, even with the discount. Loves their shop. I got it on the company national account, but they still charge you for mounting, and Loves has got out of control with their pricing. I mean, they want $25 in here for a headlight. Literally the same headlight I can buy at Walmart for $9.95. I'm to the point where this just isn't convenience store gouging. This is just actual, to the point of being actual theft. They've gotten to the point where it's criminal. But what are you going to do? You're stuck. So I get 2 tires put on. Well, I make it up to Sioux, get my delivery. I have to go up to Sioux Falls, drop it. I have to go back to Sioux City because that's where the tires are. So, guess what? I make it back to Sioux City, and we're in for 2 more tires. So, 2 more tires later, I have to get a service. I got to get something else on the truck fixed. Don't quite remember what it was. It all just kind of run together. Oh, I went ahead and put 4 new shocks on it because, I mean, I'm already this deep. You might as well put, and truthfully, the 2 tires that were bad, the shock was bad, and you could see them starting to square out. And that's why good shocks are so important. So 4 tires, 4 shocks, service, the whole ordeal, and I'm out the door. And you know, it was a rough week, but there's some lessons to be had. Now, I'm going to tell you the points. We're getting towards dusk right now, and the sun's coming in. I'm actually over here at a Pilot here in Mississippi. I had a shower on here, and I generally don't make it a habit to fill up at the Pilot, but I had to do that. Yeah, they put 50 gallons in for some reason. But so I had pavement and a shower, and truthfully, 2 things I look for in a truck stop. So, following too closely. Believe it or not, that's the most egregious thing I did. And 8 points. Speeding, 78 and a 70, 12 points. I was 1 minute and 24 seconds over my 11. 21 points, which kind of tells you where their priorities are. And I said, that's ridiculous. That's why I was telling you guys that this is a lot more serious than you realize. Your logbook, if you think going over a minute or 2 every day, let me tell you, that right there, 21 points, you know, that's what I told him. I was like, speeding, poof, falling too close, pshaw. 1 minute and 24 seconds over. She's a witch, crucify him, you know. So, yeah, it was ridiculous. And then I turned around, and at the vehicle inspection station, with that one brake chamber, that was 12 more points. I took a heck of a hit this month. You know, now don't get me wrong. This was my fault. You know, getting pulled over. I earned that. I take the blame for that. I earned that. But, you know, I had no idea the brake chamber was bad. 12 points for that. But, you know, you sit there and you think about this. So I racked up altogether damn near 60 points, between 50 and 60 points. I need to do the math, and I'm not going to. Racked up damn near 60 points, you know, quick. Guys, watch yourselves. I didn't get a ticket, but 60 point on your CSA score. You only lose a third of these every year. So next year, out of that 60, I'm gonna have what, 38, maybe 37, something like that. And then the following year, more are gonna fall off, and then the following year, more are gonna fall off. The rest will fall off. I mean, it takes 3 years to knock them out. Guys, take care of yourselves, because your logbook, especially going over your logbook, even a minute and 24 seconds will get you in a world of trouble. Just something to think about. So at the end of the day, I'm not terribly upset about all this. I mean, like I said, I earned the first batch. The second batch was just a freak, man. I had no idea that was leaking. In fact, we had just replaced a brake chamber like a week prior. So it's just, things happen. So when you go in and get inspected, it's just, it is what it is, you know, things happen. That's why it's important to keep your truck up. But more importantly, watch yourself, watch your logbook, and, you know, the consequences are a whole lot more serious. I mean, this is why I tell you, this isn't your dad's trucking anymore. This is a whole new deal. These guys don't have a sense of humor anymore. The consequences out here for all of this stuff is very real, even when you don't get a ticket. So that's why I say guard your logbook, and really just watch what you're doing. Don't be impulsive. Don't be emotional about what you're doing. This isn't personal. You wouldn't believe how many people take it personal when a pink truck passes them. I passed the same guy 5 times before. It's just, get with it or get gone. You know, that's another story for another day. So I guess all I can say is, I stand on this hill just to remind you all, there are many hills to die on. You don't need to die on any of these. Look, your logbook's important. Your job's important. Do the right thing, man. It's just, at this point of the game's a whole lot more serious than I actually gave it credit for. I knew it was serious. I did not realize that, you know, the consequences were this bad, because I haven't been in trouble in a long time, and it all came to me very quickly. You know, you're gonna have to pick and choose your battles here, guys, but at the same time, you know, you don't have to try to die on every hill either. Pick and choose your battles, keep yourself straight, guard that logbook, and watch yourself out here, because like I said, the game has changed, and it's a whole lot more serious than I think we're giving it credit for. Like I said, I got more points for that 1 minute and 24 seconds over my 11 than I did the 2 criminal infractions. And they were a whole lot more serious. In fact, I was in the parking lot trying to get parked when that happened. Hey, it's a serious game. So watch yourself, and I guess we'll see you next video. What is that? Ah, son of a